T and low. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with JT and low. You never know which way to rap. The record's gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and low. Classic conversations with JT and low. You never know which way to rap. The record's gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and low. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with JT and low. You never know which way to rap. The record's gonna go. It's classic conversations with JT and low. You never know which way to rap. The record's gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and low. You never know which way to rap. The record's gonna go. It's classic conversations with JT and low. You never know which way to rap. The record's gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and low.
Hey, yo, what's happening, people? Y'all know what time it is, man. It's time for Classic Conversations with JT and Low.
And Jose.
She right on time.
She right on time. As you can see, Asacop is not in the building today. He's on his way. Should be here a little later. Hint, hint.
Wink, wink.
You know, we're gonna we just getting this thing started, so we're gonna go ahead and get rolling. We're running a little late, so we want to get things going. As if you are actually watching us right now, you're in the right place. So go ahead and make sure that you share this thing and give it to other people. Make sure that they come on in and hit that follow button. What is the tagline, Angelo?
Tell a friend, tag a friend.
One more time.
Tell a friend, tag a friend.
Not now, but right now.
And do that.
Yeah. Push the damn button, man. Push the damn button. The button's got a little arrow. It's going to point that way. Every time it's going to point to the right. If you're looking at it, it's going to point to the right. Go on, push the button, man. Put some other friends in on this good dialogue for our community. Angelo, you good, bro?
I'm Gucci, man.
Good deal, good deal. As you can see, we have the lovely Jose in the building with us. She's been abroad. As you can see, she's tanned up and everything.
Yo, can y'all see my tan? They hating on me.
We still looking for it. I think we lost it in daylight savings time. We can't find it, so we're going to wait.
That's funny.
It's going to show up soon.
They was 12 hours ahead of us where I was at, so maybe in 12 hours.
The tan to show
up.
So where'd you go?
I went to Thailand, Qatar, and China.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
What? No, sir.
Oh,
no,
okay.
sir.
Okay, that's nice.
No
Was this
funny
just
business.
an exploratory, just vacation, just some stuff you wanted to experience?
So exploratory, yes, because I am again looking to move out of the country. So I have to see what these other countries are talking about, what they're looking like.
Okay.
And very, very rewarding trip.
So what did you see? What did you learn? What did you go to one of the countries that you may relocate?
I did. And
Which one?
Thailand was up on the list. And what I will say is Thailand has amazing food. And everyone talks about the food, but the part that I had never heard about was how good the fruits and vegetables were. The fruits taste like candy. And they do not taste like how our food tastes at all. You can tell there's no preservatives. Everything there is organic. Every single thing that you get, because they don't use all those pesticides and things.
So it's naturally organic. They ain't even got
Exactly.
advertising, huh?
Exactly. Because, in the States, they give incentives to the farmers that use their pesticides. So that's why we pay more for organic instead of the opposite, right? Because those people that are using the government-issued pesticides, they get discounts, they get incentives. So,
Did you bring back some eggs?
and the eggs are not high. They use all organic. Even like the people that are, there's a lot of people that sell street food, and they have all organic eggs. They're all brown. And one of the things that I learned from being on this trip is that, all these other countries, they produce a lot of crops and fruits and vegetables. And for America, I think that we are the actual commodity. And I think that's why our systems are set up the way they are set up, so that we have food that poisons us, food that makes us unhealthy, so we have to go to the doctors. The doctors get cuts if they give out certain medications. After you get on a medication, that medication makes you sick, so you have to get on another medication to counter that. And it ends up being a vicious cycle, and they make money off of us. The other thing that I realize is that we are in hustle culture, and we know this, but it's because we almost have to be in the United States because they make everything so, everything is so high and almost unaffordable with what we have coming in versus what rent and utilities and food is. Everyone has to work 2 or 3 jobs. And a lot of these other countries are not set up like that. They are set up for the citizens so the citizens can have a good life. And they're pretty laid back and chill.
So how do they treat you in China?
Now, what I will say in China, the joke is that China, those are black people. Because
The joke is
as soon as you come in, all the women that are in immigration, they handling us. I was on a flight and we were all talking about it. We had to go from one section of the airport to the other to get onto another connecting flight, and they don't play. They're gonna go through all your stuff. They was taking all our stuff out of the bags, and the women were very aggressive.
Interesting.
And the part of China I was in was Guangzhou, and they dress. They are very stylish people. They are very well put together. And
You were in a space that nobody knows about.
yes. And
Oh.
as opposed to the people in Thailand, they're very chill. They're not really big into fashion and all of that. But China, everywhere I turned around, and I was trying to do a little bit of videoing, but you have to, I didn't want to get locked up or anything in China because I don't know all the rules. And China's a little bit more strict than some of these other countries. So I didn't do a lot of filming, but very straight to the point, no chaser type of people. They very much reminded me, they gave me energy of like black people, being around black people. But the people in Thailand, the Thai people, they are very warm, welcoming. They bow to you a lot of times. They would do this, after any type of transaction. Their food is so affordable. You could eat off of $10 a day and be full. And I'm saying eat 3 meals a day off of $10 and you will be full.
That's cool. You giving people some options, and that's what I think. More people
Yes.
as they do trips like this need to come back and spread that kind of information to try and give people some options, because a lot of people are thinking about leaving this country with
Yes.
with good reason, plenty of good reasons to leave. Honestly, plenty. So appreciate you sharing all of that and getting back safely, and like I said,
Spreading your
hopefully-
wings a little bit.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong
hopefully
with
you
that.
can share some of that to some other people. Hopefully somebody will see this and talk about it and do some research, and they'll have their options for them. We're going to
Yeah.
get things going. A little small, couple of small subjects real quick. Something that I read today that kind of threw me off a little bit. Elon Musk backs Dawn Staley, and the coach of University of South Carolina, with $10 million in funding, saying, "I support you, Dawn Staley." I don't know of any connection there, so I just wondered, anybody heard anything about, Dawn and Elon, having some type of, but yeah. He basically said, all he said was, "I support you, Dawn Staley," alongside the news of the significant investment, $10 million in funding.
Wow.
I didn't hear about it, but I did see where Kim Kardashian did a spread with the robot and with one of the Tesla trucks.
Yeah, I could see Kim
And-
Kardashian. Yeah.
And what it looks like is that, again, he's trying to buy forgiveness and support
He's not trying to buy forgiveness.
for all this bullcrap that he's doing.
I can tell you that now.
Favor, maybe?
He's not trying to buy forgiveness.
You don't think he's trying to maybe get favor back?
Favor from who?
From the public.
He's the richest man in the world.
From the public.
This man don't care nothing about favor, no public. I mean, you know, I don't know the thing with Don said. That's information. I love to get some more information on it.
I saw it right before I was coming over here, and I
you know,
thought I would grab it. And thought
Maybe just the
somebody
fact
else
that
knew about
I don't know. I just can't imagine. I mean, I know she was upset about not being the number one seed overall, but I don't.
it. Right? Is that what?
That's worth $10 million.
Yeah,
So.
if that's the case.
Hey.
You owe Carolina about $240 billion.
So I don't know. That's interesting.
You know.
But I definitely like to get some more information on that. But yeah, I don't think he's doing that for favor. You know, but
All right.
You don't think he's trying to look better in the public eye? By giving the money and by
I don't see. I don't
getting
see
these
how that would.
ads
I
with
don't
Kim
see how that
Kardashian?
would give him in
how
the
that
public
affects his
eye.
life, being
Yeah.
he's the richest man in the world?
Yeah, I don't see how that give him any favor. No, I don't think he thinks he's doing anything wrong to need favor. I don't think he thinks
Very
he does.
good point.
I
Anything
mean,
wrong.
even if he doesn't think he's doing anything wrong, he definitely knows that the public does not agree with him because they've started to
What
boycott.
public? It depends on what public are you referring to. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of the public that does agree with him, and it's obvious. So I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's looking for no. He's not gonna be on an apology tour.
Okay. All right. Moving on to another subject. Harvard University President Alan Garber and the Edgerly family dean of Faculty of Arts and Sciences on Monday announced that the Harvard College will be free for students from families with annual incomes of $100,000 or less. But now they've actually increased that, saying that now families with incomes of $200,000 or less can actually get free education, and they're saying that's basically because they're trying to get some more diversity. So I wondered, does that sound like DEI to you?
It is DEI. However, I guess it's based on income, so they can say that it's not technically.
I mean, to me,
DEI.
it's basically trying to get some diversity. Again, trying to get some black and brown people in there.
Who was that now?
Harvard University.
Well, maybe, but maybe they're basically saying low income, and there's a lot of low income whites that will be able to take advantage of that as well.
When you're looking for diversity, you're not looking for more white people.
Well, I'm saying that maybe it's not technically diversity. That's what I'm saying. Right. Right.
Well, they said it's for diversity. They're looking to get more diversity within the school.
Right. But diversity may mean not the highest earners, right?
Oh,
They
okay.
said
That's what
Harvard
I'm
sound like
saying,
they struggling
diversity.
just like DeVry. That's funny. He said Elon doesn't understand why the public don't agree with him. In his mind, he's trying to take the people to Mars. Yeah, nice. Yeah, they blow up midair. Yeah.
All right, last small thing before we go to the major subject matter. The boots on the ground phenomenon. Boots on the ground, actually, the definition is, boots on the ground, in case y'all don't know, you should know, it's basically a dance now that's going crazy. They call it, what do they call it, country, Southern soul. This dude has a song out, Boots on the Ground, and people are dancing to it. A lot of little kids are dancing to it, and it's a phenomenon right now. You can't scroll 3 different videos without seeing somebody doing this dance. And the definition of boots on the ground is people who are physically present in a place doing work to achieve something. Now, a lot of people are saying that black people are running around here creating a new dance when there's so many other issues going on within America. They're saying that they shouldn't be trying to create another dance, need to be trying to figure out ways to succeed in America. What do y'all think about that?
I think we always need joy, regardless of what we're trying to push towards and to achieve. But the other thing is that's one of the things that my trip was about, is that we just push so hard to succeed in America. And is it worth it? Is the trade-off worth it? Because we love America, but does America love us?
You already know the answer to that.
Huh?
So we already know the answer to that.
Yeah.
So, we work just to give America, we literally keep this country going. The country is running off of the backs of all the middle and lower class citizens.
I like what you said earlier about, there still needs to be joy. I think there needs to be pockets of joy, pockets of happiness, pockets of laughter or whatever to be able to succeed with a sane mind. I just been seeing a lot of people complaining about that, saying that, we're putting so much emphasis on, and I'm talking about the black culture, putting so much emphasis on a dance when you should be putting emphasis on other things. But again,
Who said that though?
we're going to get right into that.
No, because
Because that's the slave mentality, for real.
We're going to get right into that.
yeah, well, I just think millennials said, well, that's kind of normal. No matter what is happening, black people always find a silver lining, and that's 100% facts. We,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
no one makes what's it this phrase about lemonade or whatever it is?
Oh yeah.
No one does it.
Making what is it? Lemonade out of lemons.
When life give you lemons, make lemonade.
Yeah.
Thank you.
JT, I think it should be the
Nobody
opposite.
does that better
though.
than us.
Add a little sugar. You just make some Kool-Aid. Say it again.
I think it should be the opposite. You said pockets of joy. I think it needs to be joy with pockets of pain and work.
Well, there
Just
are.
a little bit. I think it should be mostly joy and
I think there
happiness.
are pockets of pain.
Yeah.
And I think there are pockets of work, but I just think that we need, like you said, that lemonade. You need some pockets of joy, some pockets of happiness, some pockets of laughter. Shoot, that's why comedy does so well with us. We have always been a people, even back in the slavery, even when we go to church, it's about feeling good. We have always been a people that need to find something to make us feel good so that we can, then succeed through the hard times. But in regards to what Angelo said, who are those people that's saying something? Let's get on to our main topic here. Are black people programmed not to trust or love each other? Is this by design or just how life has shaped us? Are we digging into generational trauma? We're digging into generational trauma, media influence, and social conditioning that may keep us divided instead of united. The people that actually was making the complaints are us. It was black
Naturally.
people that's making the complaints about other black people having a good time with this dance,
Naturally.
with this song. So, with that and what the subject matter is, do you think that this is something that's been passed along? And if it is something that's been passed along from generations past, how do we break the cycle?
You go back to that same statement. It's the same people who would complain about something like that. You got to go back and ask them. So is there more stuff going on in this world for you to worry about? A dance? You know what I mean? Is this what that's what your focus is? It's just like we're definitely, it's sad that we're programmed that way, man. And I don't know any other way of saying it outside of that we're programmed for, because no one is more negative on their own culture than we are. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? No one is. And it's just sad. We talk about this junk all the time on here, man. It's just like we always the ones to find a reason to bring us down, man. It's amazingly disappointing, So yeah, I don't. Why we're programmed that way, I don't know. I mean, because if are we the so-called chosen people that you have to run so much interference within this culture to disturb it because of because we're such a powerful group of people. You said it earlier. We make things move. We're the movers and shakers of the economy. We just you go back to your historical stuff. We've created so many things. We've invented so many things. We're just the top of the echelon in so many different ways. But yet we're still the ones who continuously pull our people down. As powerful as we are, it's like every time we get to a point where we can get some great level of achievement, man, we find a way to bring our own people down, man. And it's, I don't know, man. It's just sad.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
We are definitely programmed and brainwashed, and we don't even know it. A lot of us don't even see it. But even the way we are displayed on TV, even some of our own programs, they are negative, right? And they did those studies back in the 60s with the baby dolls. They had a white baby doll and a black baby doll, and they had little kids come in and ask them who was the bad one.
But you know they've done that. They've done that through different generations, and it still came up to the same. But go ahead. Just
Right.
the 60s. They did it after that.
Right.
And it was the same
Right.
answers. But go
right.
ahead.
And so they always pick, even the black child picks the black baby doll as the bad one. So that is something that has been ingrained on purpose. You know, we were brought into this country to be a commodity, right? And I just saw someone did a little a skit, and the guy said, "What was the biggest commodity in 1800?" And he raised his hand, and the teacher said, "Correct." So, you know, we were brought here. We were brought here to make them money, and so once they let us out of slavery, they had to find a way to continue to use us for what we have, right? That's why they created the prison systems, so that they can put people in prison, and then you have free labor, and you cannot vote, right? So everything was set up to keep us in a mindset of servitude, right? And even the way they have set up these laws in America with credit scores, that's another thing I learned, that a lot of countries do not have credit scores, okay? A lot of countries, their colleges and things are way cheaper than what's in America. Everything that has held down the middle class and the lower class has been built, and it's been something that has made by America to keep down black people, but it just trickled into these other categories, right? So if you're a person that we've come over here and the cards have continually been stacked against us, they've continually told us that our nappy hair is not attractive, that we are not smart, that we are, what did they say, 3/5 of a person?
3/5 of a person.
All of that is still in us. That's generational trauma that we have not released, that we have not worked towards. And because what we do is we just get things to make us feel better instead of working on those subconscious beliefs, you know, because we love our cars, we love our name brand things because we feel like that gives us substance, right? And instead of actually working on what is our thought process? How do we see ourselves? How do we view ourselves? Because if you subconsciously hate yourself, you know, and I'm not saying that everyone thinks like that, but I do think that most black people, if you're in America, you have some trauma. You have some trauma in your DNA. And until we start working on that and building each other, you know, ourselves up, then it's going to continuously be the crabs in the bucket mentality. You know, even them making the projects, that's what that was for, to put us all in the same space and make us think we don't have enough resources. There's not enough for everyone, you know? I didn't know if you was going to say something.
No, what's your thoughts on it, JT? I'm just...
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a lot on the show, which is one of the reasons why whenever we do have a subject, sometimes the subject is on something that is somebody in our culture has done something or said something. I try and do it. We end up saying their name because that brings, you know, eyes on it, but I wish that we could learn from certain things without talking about that person. Mm-hmm. And I think if we could do it that way, so like, let's say some great rapper got into a beef with another guy over a female, or got into a beef with another female. And if we could talk about the subject of the beef instead of talking about the people, I think it would help us actually move forward to where we're not talking about we're not downing the person. We're now looking at
The
the
behavior.
subject matter, the behavior, and trying to figure out a way to get past it. I think that it's so sensationalized if the right name is attached to a subject matter. If I posted something about my own life, I'm gonna get a couple of likes, get a couple of comments. But if I post that same issue and add some type of superstar, some type of entertainer to it, it's gonna get so many more eyes. Instead of us talking about the issue, now we're talking about the person, and we're gonna bring that person down, and that divides us. Because now you got people that like that person, people that don't like that person. So now you're dividing and you're talking about that person instead of actually talking about the issue. I think if we could learn to use the mistakes and subject matter of people, of things that's happening, use the subject matter and take the person out of it, I think that would help us break the curse.
I agree.
Of just because
What's the curse? When you say the curse, what's the curse?
the curse of just talking about each other and bringing each other down. If you talk about the subject matter itself and figure out a way to deal with that subject, now you're talking about a way to bring whoever up. But the problem is, if we talk about that if we put that person's name in it, the subject almost becomes secondary.
Yeah.
to
Because
the
then you
person.
can stand in judgment
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
have
You know,
and take yourself out of the equation.
Exactly.
You know?
As much as we like to say that we're, oh man, I don't judge nobody. Stop. You know, a lot of us are doing a lot of judgment because of the person that's attached to something. If you take the person out of it and then just use the subject matter and learn from that, I think that is a way that we can break the curse. But, you know, with people living for clicks, it's kind of hard to take the person's name out of it, because if you take the person's name out of it, they're not getting the clicks. But I feel that that's one of the ways that we could break the curse.
Yeah. And that puts us in a category of a lot of these other rappers and things that are willing to exploit our own people so that we can get clicks or make money, right? And so if we want to be different, then we have to do something different.
All right, I
Yeah.
know you about to come with something. Go ahead.
No, I mean,
I see it. I see it.
I
Y'all
just
see
went-
it too, don't you? Y'all see it?
I just wasn't sure which route, which how deep I wanted to go with this thing, man, because it's just, a lot of this stuff is cultural, right? It's within us, you know what I mean? But it just, to me, man, sometimes when I be thinking about these kind of scenarios, I just start thinking about our people, like this race, you know what I mean? Like we call ourselves black. Black is a color. Black is not even a race.
Facts.
How did we get put into just a color? And
Very good point.
and then it goes back to your generations, your roots. To go back to Africa movements and all these things. But then you say, I told y'all my theory on slavery has been the same. I never have believed that 5, 6, 7 ships could come into a big continent of Africa and just take that many slaves away without being sold by our own people. So to me, it just, so we were sold by our own people at some point. You know what I mean? That's your same color. And then you go back, biblically. Everybody believes Jesus was black. If you believe in Jesus, Jesus was black. So who hung him? Who betrayed him? What color were they? You know what I mean? It's just something, man. I just don't understand. I don't know.
The thing about the
it just
slavery,
runs so deep. It just runs so deep.
there was slavery everywhere, but not like slavery was in the United
No,
States.
slavery in the United States was
Right,
turned up
right.
times
So-
1,000. There's no
Yes.
question. But it wasn't the only place. But
Right.
They were turning up.
Right.
yeah.
They were
No.
turning up.
You're supposed to been,
It was,
you're
it
supposed to
was.
been a slave to, your debts and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
but some people were just slaves, but yeah, it
And
was
I
turned
say
up.
that because you said like we were sold by some of our people, and
We were.
this was This was probably true. I
Slave-
agree with that.
slavery
I'm just
in the
saying,
US
I don't
was
know if they
VIP
knew.
level.
I don't know if they knew that slavery was going to be like that.
Slavery in
That's
the
all
U.S.
I'm
had,
saying,
they had
you know.
sections. They had
Right.
about a
Because
section.
even the Egyptians had slaves, right? But I don't
Sure.
think they were treated like we were treated in the United States.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we don't. Well, those are things that we don't. You look at the movies they were being whipped to. You know what I mean? They were, slave. I don't know.
What movies?
Their movies, but I'm just saying, you can look at all those old movies. They were on rowing. You see the Joker be
You
back
talking
there
about
whipping them.
the old Egyptian movies with
Yeah.
all white people in it?
Yeah. Those.
We can't trust that.
All right. No. I'm just saying. Now you can't trust it. but-
Right.
Yeah, that was a regular club.
Yeah.
Got to the U.S., boy, you had to go through the line,
Speaking-
go behind the gold rope. It was ball.
Speaking
but yeah,
of that-
I just want to figure out a way, man. And I didn't get to the whole music part of it. I think we'll touch on that when we come back. But the whole music part of it, how the control of the music industry in regards to the dollars, only putting out certain music. Certain music stays shelved, and then certain music gets put out. Is another way to keep us divided, to keep us criticizing, to keep us talking about each other. Because I guarantee, I'm sure that some of these younger cats could actually write I'm sure that they've written different lyrics that's more positive.
They wouldn't publish it.
But they're not putting it out. So that's another thing that's being used to keep
Being you a funny man.
us divided or whatever, how you want to put that. I need to pull up the comments. I ain't pulled the comments up yet. I got to pull it up.
He said Charles Heston did play one heck of a Moses though.
Y'all crazy. You know that music is like the only genre that can actually change your mindset without even getting your permission. So that's why they use
That's a great assessment.
music.
And it does just that, and they know that. You don't want to have black folks talking about self-destruction. You know what I mean? They don't want that junk. Now when you can talk about kill 'em up, bang bang. You know what I mean?
And they literally promote that music. They have
That's
from
that's,
day one.
that's the
They
only
have
thing that they
promoted
will.
that.
That's the only
That's
thing
the only
they
thing they
will
will
promote. They don't want to hear positive music.
Right.
It takes
We-
a lot for a positive rapper.
Yes. Yes.
We
Yes.
we've
They
talked-
can't hear you though.
We've talked about that in regards to in shows in the past in regards to how a lot of people trying to figure out why in the world these artists put this stuff out, not realizing that these folks is only going to pay them if they put that out.
The only way.
They're not going to pay them for the other stuff. So
Right, but why are we so easily bought out?
You get them. I think the education
because they're in the
music industry.
they're in the hood. They're living
Yep.
in the ghetto. They're they want to this is your opportunity.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And this is and for some of them they feel like that's the only way out. So do they sell out? Yeah, they.
Yeah.
All those things are just different aspects of selling out. Same way I talked about a minute ago, selling saves. Shit, it's the same thing.
Yes,
It's the same thing. We're selling this stuff to our culture because that's you feel like that's the only way of making money. And,
But is that selling your soul?
some of them say it's worth it. I can sell my soul to get my family out the hood. I can put all these people up now, and they'll justify it by saying I got my family out the hood. I'm giving all these people jobs. I'm doing all these other things, but I'm doing it based on this music. Now, the problem is when you start celebrating that and or you start living up to this image that you created. It's one thing to, who would have ever thought when NWA was saying F the police that Ice Cube become this great writer of Friday and all these movies and doing all these things and coming up with the big three. Who would have ever thought it?
Right.
You know what I mean? So he took what was working and he magnified it and made something. And you've never seen or heard Ice Cube celebrating,
But he moved away from it.
That's my
and
point.
Most of them
my
don't.
point is he didn't. This image he portrayed, for the most part, was on the videos, the movies, but you didn't really see that image. He was a family man. He raised his kids. He was, you know what I mean? You didn't really see that after that. You know what I mean? Well, some of them have to live up. These guys now have to live. They're trying to live up to this gangster image, and some of them, were living. Some of them lived a good life. They had 2-family household, but now you wanna be this thug because it's sold, and now I gotta live up to it, and that's where,
But that's
I think
part
they
of the
sell their souls
mentality. That's part of the mentality that has been put in us. Even if you think about drug dealers, drug dealers used to say the same thing. This is how I'm going to get out of the hood with help
Right.
their family out, but also destroy hundreds to thousands of other people's families, right? In the process.
Oh.
And that's the same thing that the music does.
Hold that thought, because I like where you're going with that when we're talking about the music industry and the dope game. Kind of intertwines right there. So we'll get back into that when we get back. Classic Conversations with JT and Low.
And Jose?
We'll be right back. When you said again, I said, damn, I think that's what he said last week. What's happening, people? We back. Classic Conversations with JT and Low.
And Jose?
As you can see, Ashton Cop is doing what he do. We'll see him next
He's
week.
on the way. I told y'all earlier, wink. Wink, wink.
We'll see him next week. Wait, didn't he say something about he was here last night? Did he come up here last night?
Oh, he really showed up last night? That's hilarious.
Hey,
Oh, he had his days messed up.
y'all.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, y'all lock this in.
That's
All right?
hilarious.
Y'all lock this in. Y'all lock this in. He actually showed up on the day before, on time too, but on the day of, said it was gonna be late. But we understand. Because he's Axel Cop. That's what it is. It is what it is. So, yo, we're going to get back to it, man, in regards to the music industry.
Can't make it up, Phoenix.
You know, right? You can't.
You can't make up. That's one of them.
You know, is the music destroying us from the lyrics to the lifestyle, as we was just talking about, in regards to people trying to live up to the lyrics? They're changing their lifestyle, trying to live up to it. You know, today's music just entertainment, or is it fueling violence, dysfunction, and a disconnection within our community? Jose, you was talking about before we left in regards to, you know, it was a lot of things that the dope man said back in the day. You know, when somebody asked him, man, how can you do this to your community? He was like, man, yeah, I'm doing this is happening in my community, but it's actually feeding my family, feeding my children, things of that nature.
Right.
Which, as Angelo said earlier, it's kind of what they're doing. It's a parallel to what they're actually, the dope now is
Yeah.
the crazy music
Yeah.
that's feeding the dysfunction within the community, and it's being fed. But does that? So the dope man now is the industry, is the dope man, and the actual artists are the corner boys.
Yeah. I think definitely. I think that's definitely
Compared to back when using Ice Cube, Ice-T, using these guys as Jay-Z, using them as examples, they took the mindset that they had from the dope game and put it into the music game and actually succeeded with it that way. And it's almost as if the music industry learned from them and flipped it and said, we're going to do what they did to us. We're going to do it to the younger generation and pimp them and get them to selling this bad stuff.
That's interesting. Said never would have thought saying got was a party never able to make a movie called Are We There Yet? You got that Disney chick. That's facts. Yeah, you never would have thought that the way they flipped it. That's a good analogy I think you just gave, man, in terms of
I use Ice-T because I remember I saw an interview with Ice-T years ago. Ice-T was in a couple of movies back in the day, and I think everybody can agree he was horrible as an actor. Horrible. But then he ended up on SVU, Law and Order SVU, and people was trying to figure out how he did it. And he basically said, man, I walked in there and I used the same game I used as a pimp. He said, I used that on that movie director. He said, I used that on the executive producers. He said, I basically pimped them into thinking that I was better than what I was. And that's how I ended up with the job. And now he's been on Law and Order SVU, I think, for 16 years.
Yeah, he pimped the game.
Yeah, he pimped it. And I just think they figured it out, and they reversed it in the music industry. Now, I think in the movie game, these guys are still doing it. You know, they still running the game and got their own, production companies. The education of it, I think, has been more widespread in the movie industry, the film industry, than it has in the music industry, because these guys are being actors and ladies are being actresses, but at the same time, they're getting their own production companies and things of that nature. So they got more skin in the game. They're not just getting paid to be on camera. They're getting paid to be behind the camera. And I think that's where they're getting over on a lot of our artists now, is that they're just paying them to be behind the microphone. And that's it, not behind the boards, or not in the office. Not the person signing certain things to be the way it's distributed and stuff of that nature.
I think, JT, it's always been that way, though. The music industry's always been pimps to our folks, man. I don't think we can get that junk confused and thinking that this just started. They've been pimping them forever. You can go way back to wherever you want to go back to. You know what I mean? Once they got a hold of our music and realized it sells, and again, realize that our people are the biggest consumers, and then we're going to spend the most money. Yeah, they've been pimping the industry. The part is when you turn, when you start using that talent and that ability to poison your culture, to poison your
Yes.
neighborhoods. And, you know, it's one thing to talk about the things you lived and grew up in to send a message. It's another thing to glorify it.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? And I think that's where we're hurting at in terms of, you know, some of these people, they're glorifying, they're making it, you know, they're telling stories that didn't really happen to them, or they're telling stories that they want to happen, or they're telling stories happening, you know, that crimes that are actually being, I mean, you know, it's like they're glorifying it.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
not just,
I get
they're
what
not
you're saying.
painting a picture. You know what I mean? When you think of some of the stuff NWA was saying, and Ice Cube was saying back then, and think about the stuff that was actually happening and the stuff that's happening now, they were telling the truth. They weren't lying. You know what I mean? They weren't lying about some of these stuff. You know, but
Yeah.
these folks now, you know, and even you go back Jay-Z, you know, he was talking a lot of stuff about stuff that was in the neighborhood, things they were doing. You know what I mean? But people weren't dying on every album. You know what I mean? It's you know what I mean? It's like, you know, people wasn't getting, you know,
Right.
It's just there. It's the glorifying, I think, that's the problem now.
Yeah.
And you know, you had, you know, Lyra Cohen on the promo post, you know, say, hey, I got a family to feed too. He basically let you know this is how we feel. We know this is gonna sell to your people.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what your people want to hear.
Yeah.
You know, they wouldn't dare talk about a Jewish mob hit. It would never. You would never hear it. They wouldn't
Yeah.
dare.
Right.
They wouldn't dare. They wouldn't dare have a bunch of their women out there, you know, gallivanting. You know what I mean?
We
They
are
wouldn't
the only
dare do
race
this
of
thing. They
people.
know that we will purchase it. We will
I was gonna ask
glorify
that.
it.
I wonder if there was somebody that put something out like that about another race, would they purchase it? You think?
Who would purchase it?
We would purchase it.
Oh, we might.
You think we still
All
would
you gotta
purchase
do is
theirs?
get one of our folks to put a
Cameo on it.
Yeah.
and it's bought and sold, brother. You know what I mean? But they not going to. They wouldn't dare put this stuff
No
on
other
their
race of people
Featuring
have
M-
entire
featuring
radio
MC
stations.
such and such.
Have entire radio stations and programs dedicated to ratchet lifestyles. You know, lifestyles that are detrimental to the culture, right? And that's the thing that we need to check. Even you mentioning like Ice-T, there are some other people that we could, you know, Aretha Franklin was somebody that began to be like a producer on her albums and things like that. You know, there are other people that have done that without being ratchet, without, you know, because even you saying like he was a pimp, that's really nothing for us to even glorify that, because more than likely he was pimping who? Some black women. And so I think that that's one of the things that we have to start checking is who are these people that we put on these pedestals that we want to keep listening to their music and following their careers and saying this is an example. Because when we follow them, we're telling them they're the example for us, you know, to look up to. You know, so maybe that's one of the things we need to do is start finding those people that are better examples and that are living the way that we should be living and that we want our kids to live, maybe. I don't know.
Right now, you got Atlanta Police Department did a press conference a couple weeks ago, and they basically are blaming Lil Baby's video shoot for the murder of some kid. You know, and they've done these type of things before. You know, and I think the kid was on the video shoot or something, got murdered shortly afterwards. But they're basically blaming him and the music for the murder. You know, and they're saying we're gonna do everything we can. They really were talking like we want to press charges against him for somebody else doing something based on music. You know, based on lyric. You know, and it's like, you know, that's where it's gone to. You know what I mean? Because that's where some of these people, you said earlier about music, how music moves
Yeah, it does.
people. You know what I mean? And we
Yeah.
got to really take that. There's something got to take into
It's
consideration
real.
because
Let
it
me ask you
really,
this.
It's
it
Let me ask
really
you
does.
this.
Think
Let me ask
about
you
when
this.
you go to church and you hear a song, you're in church.
All you got to do is
It puts
hit
you
the
in a-
organ. Organ got this.
Hey, it creates a different vibration,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
it creates, and then when you want to get hyped, you listen to another type of music, right?
Well,
Because it's gonna put a
with
different.
that, do you feel that should we start calling for more action like that? Would that help stop some of, breaking the curse, the cycle in regards to that music. If more police or more forces came out saying, listen, if you're making this music and there's any way we can connect the actions from a criminal act was perceived to be motivated by your music, we can press charges against you. Is that a way to break because then if you say that, now you're talking about, you just like when everybody was going against.
No, if you want to do that, do a class action lawsuit and file charges against the record label that released the music. If you want to make an impact, that's the only way you're going to do it. Why would you punish the artist for doing it? No, punish that label. Punish these folks, and we know who own most of these labels.
Now,
take them to court.
How does
you'll move the needle.
You may not know, but I'm gonna ask you, how does that start?
How does it start?
How does that start?
By the same police officers who trying to press charges against Lil Baby, they should go be pressing charges, against these record labels. Find you dig deeper.
Well, you have to make laws against.
Look, they want to do RICOs on one person. We know they're good for that anyway.
Right.
Bring them up in that jump. Bring the record labels up.
Okay.
But you have to change the laws in regards to freedom of speech first. Okay, and one of the things that China does, they have a lot of laws against you cannot put certain bull crap out, right? Because they're not going to have that vibration in their country. They are not going to let you have certain programming. They don't even let them have, I think, remember we were looking at some of the things where they show what they show on their TikTok versus what's on TikTok
Absolutely.
in the United States.
Absolutely.
They are not for the bull crap, right? Because they know what these type of things create. Some countries don't even let you have porn. It's against. Well, I guess people still maybe sneak, but my point is, America's about freedom of speech, and it may be to the detriment of the people that are in our communities, right? And so that would be something that would have to change first. Before there can be anything where it can be done against the people that are making the music, right? So,
but you're right. But take them to court and make them have to spend the money. They'll take the rapper to court. Mm-hmm. That's what they'll do. Mm-hmm. They won't take the label to court. Take that label to court. If you want to do anything, make them have to fight against that freedom of speech.
But in this day and age, a lot of the labels are owned by black people too.
No, they're not.
There's not?
No, they're not. Majority
you don't think
of those
a lot
labels,
of black people have record labels?
They have a label that's signed under another label who really is the financier. Okay. And you go look and who's behind those labels. So and you're gonna see the Liar Cohens and all them other people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are they under someone else?
Absolutely are.
Gotcha.
Absolutely are.
Okay.
You know what I mean? All of them have another conglomerate that really is the financier, but they don't mind you going out and being the front man for it. You know what I mean? They don't mind that junk. Def Jam was under
and look,
what was that label? Def Jam was under something else forever.
We want to own it so bad that we'll own it and not even let anybody know that somebody else is actually
Gotcha.
Because
I didn't know.
as you said earlier, we love shiny shit.
Yes.
So if we can shine,
right,
we're gonna take all that shine if you give us the permission to take it instead of saying that somebody else is actually.
I mean, think about all the people now who's fighting for their rights for their music. They're fighting. You thought I thought it was their label.
Right.
So why you fighting for your music right now? You didn't own none of that stuff.
Those contracts.
You know what I mean?
Those contracts were jacked up, and
what these labels
people knew where the money was at.
They'll give a major producer or the major artist. They'll give you a contract. They'll give you $100 million, for example, and tell you this is your label. You got $100 million to go sign artists and produce and bring back, and you got to pay that back to them. You know what I mean? And that's why they be stealing so much money from other people, because they know they got to pay back Daddy-O, who really front the money in the first place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so that's how that junk works. They don't own half that stuff,
But even with it was a pastor that talked about how when Rick Ross
Sony,
made all
Warner
this
Brothers,
music
Atlantic, Def Jam,
that was
Columbia.
like
Yeah.
against the culture, right? And talking about drugs and this and that, that was fine. But as soon as he talked about, I think he talked about rape in one of his songs, that they took
Talking about Rick
some of
Ross?
his endorsements, right?
Rick Ross?
Yeah.
Oh, shut
and
it- shut it
that They
down.
took so
Shut it
So
down.
my point is that they can pick and choose. You see what I'm saying?
So much freedom of speech,
And
huh?
so right. But that's my point, is that if it's against us, if it's just going to affect our community, they're okay with it. You see what I'm saying? And we have to start, I think we as people just have to start having a standard of what we want our communities to look like and feel like, because you cannot, I talk about this on one of my videos, you cannot expect something positive when you put out a negative vibration. You cannot, one of the songs I cannot stand is that song talking about Get It Back in Blood. How do you make a whole song describing what you're gonna do, basically starting a war between two parties where you're gonna be murdering people, and we singing it. We are singing it and dancing to it.
What's it called?
We ain't. Maybe I don't even want to.
No, that's the name of the song. Get It Back in
That
Blood.
little Shiesty song about Pooh Shiesty or whatever. That song, it's just crazy.
It's our community, man, and it's sad, but it's our community, and that's what we want. They want that kind of music, circulating through the hood. That's what they want, because it's going to continue to create chaos, and it's going to continue to sell albums. You know what I mean?
So getting back to
Facts.
to where I was talking about earlier with the song, the Boots on the Ground. We got black folks complaining about that.
Here's my point.
But not complaining about what Get It Back in who? In Blood?
Yeah, it's a
I don't know if
song,
people are
but yeah.
complaining about it, but I mean,
Yeah.
because I haven't heard it. But that's wow. That's Get It Back in Blood. Okay.
Yeah, it's a real song.
And think about how how you can listen to music from the 70s and you feel differently, right? You feel that joy. You feel, it moves you. And now we've strayed so far away from that, in our mainstream media, that it's crazy.
But they won't push the positive songs.
Right.
They just won't push them. You've heard many of artists say, I had this song, but the record label said this the song we want, and if we don't do this song, they'll just cancel your whole album. Record label cancel the whole album. They won't even think nothing about it.
Yeah.
They won't think nothing about it. They'll be like, all right, well, you're done.
Interview with Tank talking about how none of the newer R&B artists will reach out to people like Babyface or the Prince, the two dudes used to wear the hats. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
think of
yeah.
their name.
Boy from the time.
Yeah, those cats won't reach out to none of them in regards to getting that type of feel. I wonder if that's because of music labels or if that's because of artists themselves. That's
They know the community's gonna buy it, just like the folks gonna buy the Jordans when they come out. They're gonna be in that long line, spend the night. You know what I mean? They just know we are the ones who will buy that stuff, and they just feel like, the question. You have Run DMC, LL Cool J, the GOAT. You can go through all these rappers back in the day. None of them talked about killing nobody and was super popular. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
but once that gangster rap came into play, and it just made so many people so much money. They're stuck on that. They don't want to. Them folks don't want to come out of that mindset, because they know this is what's gonna sell. This is what's gonna make us so much money, and they could care less how it affects your community. Like Cohen said it. I mean, you know what I mean? It could care less. He got family to feed. What he said. He don't care what happens back in that community where them people are actually killing people at and raping people at and all that stuff is going on. They don't care nothing about that community, man. They living up there in Bel Air. Why they care? You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. But our rappers can, the artists can, they can take control of it. You know what I mean? If they could start with the first part of the conversation, if they could actually come together and create their own, put out their own, the radio stations are You know, some of them are
Like you said,
black
they gotta-
owned, not
gotta-
all of them. A
gotta
lot
come
of them ain't
together.
even like V103 owned by CBS.
Like you said,
so
you have-
so it's still
you said,
controlled by the powers that be.
You have to come together because once you come together, then that power, that one word is powerful. No.
Oh,
But
boy.
if,
But
you're
the
not, if you're not together, 6 of you could say no,
Yeah.
but there's 5 of them that's saying
Yeah.
yes. If you don't come together, the whole no doesn't mean anything.
It won't come together because we won't trust each other. The other man can rob you
Look,
nonstop, but
Goes back
we can't trust each
goes
other.
back to the first.
True.
Goes
That's
back
why I
to
said
the
it goes
first
back to the
part
first part of the
True.
conversation.
True.
We don't trust each other enough.
Cardi B
part.
talked about how when she tried to put something positive out that that wasn't as ratchet, that they didn't really support it.
Cardi B really had too many legs to stand on. I mean, she had legs to stand on, but you know what I'm saying. Angela really wasn't an artist.
Y'all start hating on Cardi B.
I ain't
Man.
hating on
Cardi
her.
B
I like
can
Cardi
rap,
B.
man.
Cardi
That's
B's
facts,
fire.
homie.
Cardi B
That's
can
facts.
rap. It's
She
just
can't
facts.
rap.
That's just
Can't
facts.
she?
That wasn't no hate. That was fact. Cardi B will tell
Yeah.
you too. I read them lyrics to death. And I read them with style.
Too funny. Too funny. Hey, man, we're going to jump into this top 5, man. I posted on there. I see some of y'all have already commented. We're going our top 5 because we're still in Women's History Month. And I saw some of y'all were upset we didn't do a top 5 last week. And that was Ascocop's fault. Because he ain't here, I'm going to put it all on him. Yeah. He was nudging me over here like, let's just skip a top 5 because he wasn't prepared.
That's what he was doing. I was looking at that
Yes,
part.
he wanted to skip. He wasn't prepared.
I was watching that
So-
part. I
so-
was wondering what he would do.
And I'm gonna call him out because when I wasn't here that time, he called me. I was like, I knew it was gonna be an opportunity for me to really get him back. So there it is. So, but we're gonna do. And
Hold up.
Go ahead, talk
After
to
we
me.
get off, see, we got a chat. We're gonna get that text. Great show, guys. We always get that. It's coming. It's coming.
So our top 5, and still on Women's History Month. Top 5 women in corporate America. Your top 5 women in corporate America. Women who doing it big in the corporate world, and that we want to shout them out. So I got a couple, but either one of y'all ready before
some on the,
I start reading?
I'm not ready. Got a couple.
While they get ready, I'll just go ahead. You ready?
Go ahead. I might be, but I don't think I am. Go ahead.
Let's see here. And number one fan, I'll get JT to answer that question at the end. We talked about it already, about his Tar Heels. And we did see what the governor said, which was absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't believe he said that jump.
The training.
No, he thinks it'll be an investigation on how West Virginia got left out.
Oh, yeah. I saw that one, too. Yeah.
All right, so Millennial has Janice Bryant Horwood, CEO of Act One Group, a global staffing and workforce. Caitlin Davis, Nike designer. Kathy Hughes, Radio One. Carla Harris, executive VP at Morgan Stanley. And Ursula M. Burns, first black CEO of a Fortune 500 company.
Yep. She was the CEO of Xerox. She's one of mine.
Think about it, yeah.
She's one of mine.
Yeah, I caught a couple of your comments, man. You asked some good questions. And my mom said Megan must be in town for Ask a Cop. Aunt said Kathy Hughes, American entrepreneur, business executive. Oprah Winfrey. Sheila Johnson, co-founder of BET and CEO of Salamander Hotels and Resorts. Yeah, she's on my list as well.
I didn't know she was.
Ursula Burns, CEO of Xerox, first to lead Fortune 500 company. D. Wayne got Issa Rae. Good one. Condoleezza Rice. I'm sure Oscar Cop appreciates you bringing her up. Fawn Weaver. Robin Roberts. Good. And Pinky Cole. She was on my list, too.
I like her, yeah. She on my list.
Get a chance to listen to the GOAT, Denzel, speak to Dion football players. Okay, I'll check that out. All right, either one of y'all ready now?
What was that about Denzel?
Apparently, he spoke to the Colorado football players.
Okay. Ready over there? All right, I'll go ahead. Like I said, I'm Googling.
Me too.
Lisa Wardell, CEO of what is it? Adetilum Global Education. Did I say that right, New Melinda? I saw you over there. Shaleigh Archambault, former CEO of Metric Stream and current Fortune 500 board member. Wow, she's on the board right now. Melody Hobson, co-CEO and president of Ariel Investments. Rosalind Brewer, who is the CEO of Walgreens Boots Alliance. And like I said, Ursula Burns, former CEO of Xerox, was part of mine also.
Oh, goodness gracious.
You ready?
Okay. I just pulled some from Google. I wanted to say some black women. I got Tanisha Agramonte. She is with the Walt Disney Company, and she's an SVP. I have Tamika Alsop. She's in an executive leadership team at Moody's Corporation. And then the other three that I was thinking about was Stacey Abrams, Beyonce, because Beyonce has a lot of businesses, ventures, as well as owning an island, and Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one local that I'm gonna give a shout out to is Dana Green. She owns her own hair salon, but she also does a lot for the homeless, the Hungry Hearts Alliance, where sometimes I go down with them. They actually feed the homeless, like I think it's every third Saturday of the month. And she also does a drive for prom dresses for underprivileged young ladies going to school, going to proms, whether that's junior high or high school. And also she just started doing it for the boys, also getting tuxedos and stuff. Dana Green, she's dope for real.
I'm trying to go find the ones. Make sure nobody said these. I think Millennium might have said this one. Let me see, did he? All right, I got Janice Bryan Howry, one of the first black billionaire females. Sheila Johnson, of course, CEO of BET and the first black female billionaire. Miss Martin, she was the Marseille Martin. She's the executive producer of Blackish. Got to shout her out. Yeah.
The daughter on Blackish. The
she
twin.
is. She's dope. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's. And
she got it going on.
And you haven't heard a lot from her, but I think that something is going to pop for her that's going to be huge. She's making some serious moves.
Somebody said Pinky Cole, right? Somebody said Pinky Cole. All right.
Yeah.
So I got Nicole Harrison, president of basketball operations of the Dallas Mavericks. And the Dallas Mavericks got all black executives on that staff. Go ahead. You about to say something?
Go ahead.
Oh, and last I got Miss Nicole Lynn. Y'all know Miss Nicole Lynn is. She's the agent that got Jalen Hurts.
That's what, bro.
All that moon, y'all.
That's what I did that for. That's what. When you said that, I thought about Jalen Hurts' team.
Yeah.
All women. His management team is all women. It's dope. Dope. Yeah.
Hold on, my mom just chimed in.
I think Pinky Cole was on. She was on Spelman campus, but they said them burgers were a little bit too high. She was one of the restaurants over there.
Mom got Kathy Hughes, Oprah Winfrey, Madam C.J. Walker, Shirley Caesar, Kamala Harris, and her niece, Doretha Bracy Bean, first female colonel in the family. How about that? Yeah, congratulations to her. We went out to her.
All them Bracy women.
Nice.
Her ceremony
All,
was real dope.
all them Bracy women. I met them. All of them. Every last one of y'all. Salute. For real, for real. Number one, I'm iffy on if we belong or not. I'm iffy on it.
You said as a fan.
Yeah, I'm iffy as a fan. And as a fan, I'm iffy.
Yeah.
Going by the numbers, no. 1-11 in quad
There you go.
one shouldn't be there.
There you go.
West Virginia's governor, though, he can kiss my ass because we better than them, so he can kiss my ass. But neither one of us should be in there. I don't think that Texas made it, right? I don't think that Texas should be in either. But no, I don't. Bubba Cunningham being on the board up there, I think, as Angelo said, Wink, he didn't do any voting, but he was sitting there. So I think that's, how we got in. I said if we do get in, we're going to be a dangerous low seed. I'm hoping that we're doing what we're supposed to do right now. As you can see, I'm actually drinking out of my Carolina glass with my blue drink. Got my Carolina hat on. After the show, once we start looking at the game, if we're not playing right, I'm changing hats. That's what I do. But, sweet. We might make it to Sunday. I think we can win this game and win the next one. Making it, if we get to Sunday, it's already been a great season because Hubert Davis is horrible. Just being honest with you. I hate to say that about the brother, but he's a horrible coach. Just saying it as it is.
Well, they didn't deserve to be in. That's just face fact.
Yeah.
They didn't. They got in because of the name. They're one of the blue bloods of basketball, and the guy that's over the whole thing happened to be the president of North Carolina.
Athletic director.
Yeah, so that didn't hurt. But yeah, they didn't deserve it.
No.
We know that. But hey, somebody always gets in every year that shouldn't get in.
Watch my social media though. I'm gonna be like we the third ranked team.
Yeah. But shout out to Dawn Staley, man, for what she's done again. She's continued to defy all the odds, man. Shout out that girl Juju. So real quick, Finn, I just want to ask the guys real quick, and I know you don't really watch sports, so don't want to exclude you. But just real quick, who you got winning the championship in men and women? Who's your early pick?
Women, I'm going for USC, but I think South Carolina's going to do it again.
Then they can do it again.
I think they can. I think they're undersold because they don't have that superstar. Men, Houston or Auburn. As much as it pains me, Duke is formidable. They are formidable. But those injuries, I think, is going to slow them down.
Real quick, Dwayne. Men, women, who you got?
He said Houston or Florida. On the women's side, he has South Carolina.
Yeah, I want to see I think it'd be dope to see a USC versus USC championship game
that would be
in
dope.
women. Wouldn't that be dope?
Yeah,
man?
USC
I really
versus
hope
USC.
Juju gets it. You know what I mean? She's such a phenomenal player, and hey, she does. Real talk. You know what I mean? She the real
New Maya Moore.
Yeah, she the real deal, man. And the men, right now, Florida's playing the best basketball. But if Cooper Flag comes back, Duke gonna be hard to beat.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to beat. I know you hate to hear it.
I hate to say it. I'm a fan of the sport first, and Duke the real deal, man. They the real deal. Even though we should have beat them the other night, but yeah.
Yeah, especially without Cooper.
And the other guy.
The whole the green and gold, women and men's going to the Big Dam. Both the Nova State men and women did make it. Unfortunately, men, they put them up against Florida. It won't be that long. I hate to say it, but Florida's playing the best.
Alabama State
basketball,
was
but-
playing tonight. When
But the
left
women, I
house.
hope the women advance a little bit first.
Alabama State won. That's dope. Yeah. Got some HBCUs making some noise. It's a play-in game, but still, that means they are part of the 64 officially. So that's gonna do it for us, y'all. We will see y'all back next week. We will be starting on time.
I got Don coming next week. Don Dace. He got
Okay.
they got another golf tournament. He got somebody gonna bring. I'll send y'all the information.
All right. Good deal. Good deal.
But he sent me his information, and the person's coming with him, some executive. But I'll get that for you. But yeah,
All right, yeah. So he's coming before the tournament,
he's coming Tuesday.
and the tournament is after that, right? So that means I might
Yes.
be able to talk him into an invite this time.
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, there it is. So I hope you heard that, Don. That's it, man. Classic Conversations with JT and Lowe.
And Jose.
And ask a cop. We'll see if he's back next week.
And we out. You did?